So Girishji, let's wait for around 5 because there are people joining in. It's evening, so let's wait for some time.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. I think let's give a couple of minutes for people to join.
Thank you so much.
No worries.
So Girishji, let's start.
Yeah, we can. If you're not expecting more people, we can just start. No worries.
Absolutely. Good evening, everyone. This is Ayush Singh from 8COE First IIT Kanpur, hosting this third webinar of Accelerating Data and AI Solutions. I request Neela Pathak to please introduce 8COE to all of us. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. So, artificial intelligence and innovation driven entrepreneurship center of excellence is a domain-specific facility that provides mentorship, networking opportunity, training, research and development, state-of-the-art infrastructure, funding opportunities to the startup. First IIT Kanpur, in collaboration with FICCI, has come together to establish this center of excellence here in Noida. At 8COE, we have pulled all our experts, professors, researchers, and students to a common platform so that they can collaborate and work upon their ideas. Partnerships will be forged with national and international institutions that are working in the field of AI to extend help to our time. A special resource bank has been created where all the research published, best practices, program code, module, designing, algorithm, and leadership development over the years have been made accessible to the startup. A highly qualified team is functioning day in and out for smooth functioning of the center, which is monitored periodically by the governing body. At 8COE, we have created an AI innovation ecosystem which creates an active flow of information and resources for ideas to transform into reality. Through this ecosystem, we are building a process by which more innovators and entrepreneurs can develop and launch solutions to solve real-world problems faster. This process creates expertise in new areas and allows business to meet their customers. Additionally, we will provide the means for resource sharing and creating jobs and opportunities in key countries. We will build new technologies that will be applied across industries and business. 8COE will partner with key stakeholders and turn these in-kind and financial investments into tangible products that impact the way we live, work, and play. I would also like to inform all our participants that the applications to 8COE are open. The last day to apply is 31st December 2021. You can visit our website in that, or you can write to us for any query through the website. Thank you. Over to you, Ayush.
Thank you, Nilab, for introducing 8COE to all of us. Let me just take a minute and introduce Mr. Girish Tonse to all of you. Mr. Girish has about 20 years of experience in IT industry. Currently, he is working as a head of software for Continental Division AGRITECH. He is based out in Bangalore and leads India Delivery Center. He has experience working for industries like manufacturing, food and water testing, pharma and healthcare, agri-tech, retail and financial etc. During his 20 plus years, he has worked with corporates like Continental, Eurofins, IQVA, Aditi, Accenture, Walmart, WM, CS, etc. He started his career as a developer in legacy techs. He is passionate about tech and puts an effort to be in with the updates. Mr. Girish has worked on many programs during his journey and learned a lot of business value of the industry. On a personal front, he practices yoga, meditation regularly, loves cycling, plays musical instruments, and keen interest in vocals. Thank you, Mr. Girish ji, for being with us today in this webinar. I really appreciate you taking your time out of your busy schedule and sharing the knowledge on accelerating data and AI solutions. Over to you, Girish ji. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks, Ayush, and then Nilab for sharing the detail and explaining it, how the COX, what this initiative is about, and then and also introducing me to the participant group here. I think we have about 10 people. Truly, it's good. We'll start anyway. Let me share my screen. Hope you can see it. If you're not seeing it, let me know.
Yes, absolutely, it's visible.
Okay, so without wasting time, we'll get into the topic of accelerating data and AI solutions. So the way I thought about this is just in my next slide. Yeah, so the way I kind of planned this session is about quickly introduction to AI/ML, and probably most of us know about it already, or at least be aware and heard about the program and all the stuff. But I still thought of quickly summarize them, what they mean, and then how they are playing an important role in different industries that we'll shortly talk about. And then why I always think that this AI/ML needs a different approach. It is just not that another tech decision that people need to make or leaders need to make. It's more than that. So I'll be briefly talking about why we need a different thinking. So what could be the really starting point for this journey for anyone who's trying to do a startup, as which is very relevant for this forum, and then how they want to grow, right? So this is could be what could be the starting point for them, and then a quick introduction about how the typical development works, and then few use cases of AML, and then in the different industries. Though I'll not go in depth, but at least try to make it crisp and clear, like why this is important, how it is, how industries are using them, and what future holds for us. And then summarizing all the things what we have talked about. So I'll be probably giving a short summary about how you can be successful in the AML startup, and then in different ways. I'll mention that in the summary. Then I'll of course talk about one of the important topic about how it impacts our life, right? This is definitely, there is a very important thing. It's a constructive and a destructive way both. So I just want to touch upon that topic as well a little bit, and then see how we can handle this, right? So it's all about AML, right? So I have put a lot of jargons here, and then it's nothing. Probably most of you heard about this already. You have AI, ML, deep learning, neural networks, computer vision, cognitive computing. A list is endless, right? And then we'll all be entering how they are related to the topic today, and then what they mean, and then how they are being used. So this is very simplified landscape. I will not again read through all of them, but just give a brief about what that means, right? Artificial intelligence. This is not a new topic. It's been there for a while, probably 1950s and 1960s to precisely, right? Just to recall, one of the projects what we did in our engineering as our academic project was pathfinding in the dynamic environment, which is basically like you have objects keep moving, and then you need to find a point A to point B, and then how do you navigate through the different moving objects, which is today's world. It is what nothing but your autonomous cars with a lot of sensors, and then lidars and all the stuff. But we kind of use this, but the approach was same way, like it's artificial intelligence. You're trying to put intelligence inside your algorithms, and then see how do you best you can use it. It is there, and machine learning is all the other topics what we have down below is part of the subsystem of AI to make them actually intelligent, right? So making them intelligent, nothing but we expect machine to think and decide, act upon like the humans. So we have sensors like any other machine. Like if you think about, like we have ear, speech, then smell, this feel of touch of, I think, all the stuff, right? So we expect machine to behave in the same way, including emotions. Of course, this is going to be a long journey. So far we are talking about only about audio and visual here, right? And maybe text a little bit, or maybe video. That's pretty much. We are not in any way close to the smelling, tasting, or touching, feeling, or anything like that. So it's going to take a while for anyone to make it exactly a robot think and act, behave all way like humans, right? It may take a long way, to be honestly. Yeah. So that's about AI, and then all these segments will talk about how do you make this possible. Machine learning is one of the way. Then the next step is maybe a deeper variation of it called deep learning for unsupervised learnings and all the stuff. Then you have a neural networks to talk about how we can use different distributed computings and algorithms to capture this into next level, and then get that computational power. NLP, which is natural language processing, and computer vision, which is one of the biggest topic nowadays about autonomous cars and many other things, to identify objects and then categorize them and understand them and all this stuff, or even the part of the objects. And cognitive learning is putting all this together, text, speech, images, objects together, and then see you can derive something about it, right? Which gets complicated from the ML, deep learning, neural network, MLP can still be straightforward, but all of the usages needs a lot of processing power and a lot of I think a lot of algorithms already out there who have tested and tried and all the stuff, right? So we'll quickly touch upon these things as we go through. So this is very simply, if you have to say this is AML, and then what different jargons mean for us, right? So I said in the beginning, the AML needs a different approach altogether, right? This is not like another IT decision in the past. To precisely, if I to recall, like in the earlier days, we have something called Windows upgrades or the virtual machine upgrades, or moving from on-premises data center to the virtual machine, VMware and all the stuff, or upgrading Visual Basic to say .NET or to .NET Core. Or it is not like that, right? You all this, if you look at it from the point, it is just upgrading or updating, and then it doesn't have impact from the business revenue point of to the great extent, to be honest, unless you really look at the business value. So one should not think that, okay, AML sounds interesting, let's start using it, right? So that doesn't work like that. It is not like the decision, okay, I'll start from tomorrow, let's start working on AML. It doesn't work like that. It needs really different thinking. So that process I just wanted to highlight here. And then that's why I always say this is a part of transformation, or I would say specifically digital transformation, right? So one should not consider AML journey as a something that they can independently start and then without thinking about a lot of other things. It is not. It is part of the transformation process for the organizations, or it's specifically digital transformation. AML is one of the tools or digital tools or technology available there for people to be succeed in the transformation or digital transformation business, right? So to start with that, you have to have a blueprint, very clearly identifying your strategy, and then you convert that into your business, the goals and then milestones and all. Ultimately, whatever you do in the AML or any of this digital transformation, it should touch either customer or employee. You can't say that it doesn't do both. It's not possible. So you are doing something that basically transforms the way customer sees it, customer experiences it, or employees feel and experience it, right? So it could be a new solution to existing problems, or it could be a very new opportunity that you're trying to tap on in the market, and then trying to see if you can build additional revenue stream for your systems or your organization. But just to be careful, a lot of companies try to talk about the first one only, like they think what they're doing core, and they're trying to build upon that rather than trying to venture into a complete new way of thinking and doing it, which is very risky, and a lot of people don't be successful in that. Only less than 40% as per the studies, organizations take a bold decision to venture into new revenue streams using this digital transformation. But other than that, most of them stick to their core game plan. And it's a top-down approach, requires investment and effort. It is not going to happen within a day or two or a week. I'm sure about it. So if anyone thinks that AML will do a magic, it won't. So it will take time. And then I just want to say here also, AML is one of the topics aiding for digital transformation. So if you have to really start up in AML, think like it's a part of digital transformation project or program. Then you start journey from there, rather than just thinking like that. It's like any other app building or decision making that you need to do, right? To be successful in using AML, key mantra is that organization need to bring data and technology to the center. Okay, without data, it's not possible to be successful in the AI and then ML implementation. I just wanted to show this screen to you just to explain what I mean, right? So you're not trying to find an answer with the AML, just to be very clear. Okay, this is a very different way of looking at it. So if you replace these answers here, here answers with the algorithm, just imagine. So what you have is a data and algorithm. So what you get back is the result. So this is what have been the practice for most of the applications, even the complex application, which I'll talk about a little bit in a while. And that's how people solve their problem. But nowadays it's a bit universal that I have a data and I do know the answer well in advance. But now I'm trying to fit a model on that. What's the pattern here? How does it work? How they're related? How the parameters are behaving, and what impacts, what doesn't impact, what is important, what is not important, all the stuff. Then again, I feed the data, I get the prediction. So this is where this is the way it should be thought through when we talked about the digital transformation. Let me go back to the screen, which is yeah. So this is why I said you need to bring the data and technology together to be successful in the AI and ML. So without these philosophies, it's not possible. And I remember also one incident a couple of years back when I was working in an organization which has a petabytes of data. Yeah, it's a petabyte and zettabytes of the data. So they were saying, I mean, in one of the discussion that, hey, data collection is over, right? Last couple of decades, we have spent building apps and collected data from all the customers and patterns and all. So we are done now. It's all era is about analytics, right? But honestly, if you look back from now also, it is not over yet. It is just a beginning. So now if you look at the data, it's coming in your way from the IoT sensors, Bluetooth devices, connected devices, cars, wearables, healthcare, you name it, right? From the any industry, it's humongous. And then that has massively changed the whole landscape. It is not over yet, it's just a beginning. So you need to still have the data in your strategy, and say, how do you get more data? How do you use that data for your processes? And also, of course, in the decade, the computational power is also been increased. So it is not like our olden days computer, which are like very limited power, or servers and all. Now you have you can spin off servers in a couple of seconds, and then that can power your entire I don't know, entire company probably in terms of data churning. So there's a lot of changes have happened. So that is why AML is coming into the picture, though it was there from 1950s, 60s, and 70s, but now that has been developed into a or it has come to the mainstream, I would say, in the last couple of years, so that it'll be more and more useful and more practical, right? Just to give you a snapshot, if you look at it, thing like adaptation to AML is increasing globally, and skills are in great demand. There's no denial about it, right? If you look at the global market of AML, it was about 35 billion in 2020. It's going to be about 47 billion 2021, and then 360 billion by 2028. It is not a small number, and then it basically means people will be. I mean, these skills will be in demand, and then of course, it is not just the AML. It is anything which AML requires, right? It could be connected devices, hardware, software, anything it could be. So that needs AML, which is very important. And if you also know that the even this AML concept is not only for your data in the software, it is also for hardware and some of the designs and some of the things, how people are using it in different ways today. We'll talk about it. If you heard of printed electronics, this is also one of the key phenomena happening. You don't get, I mean, it is kind of a plaster. So you can just patch it on any devices, humans or anything, any surface, and it starts collecting the data from that, and then it may be transferred, right? So it's a huge changes are coming on the way, and then it will definitely need a lot of data churning and a lot of capabilities and then skill sets to match that. So industries across global are adapting to AML. Some of them are very ahead. Some of them are still catching up. I'll talk about it. So key players in the AML are, like, of course, you heard all of these names: Amazon, Apple, Facebook, OpenAI, Google, Salesforce. Pretty much all these people have their own machine learning platform, which I'll talk about also a little while. So it's a huge opportunity for everyone. It is not about only a kind of experimental. It has become proven and tested. So people want to adapt to that and see. One of the early pioneers, if I have to say, retail is probably the biggest I think user of the AML and provided by maybe in the BFSI, banking and financials. So they may be a little ahead in the game because 30-40% of their entire business is already been automated or already been in AML. But some other technologies, they're yet to catch up, then catching up slowly, and then with a great great experience and support, right? So this is what I talked about. If you look at the industry landscape, pretty much everything is there. If you don't see a box, just imagine you just put it here. There's no need to think that it won't be impacted. So AML is going to be the key, and then every industry will be touched upon that. It is just a matter of time, and then how it will how will be playing a critical role in any of the industry, right? Um, so this is, I just put it here just to give a perspective. How does it work usually in the, when you talk about AML, and then what are the typical practices? As I said, it starts with data. You build a model. You basically find you have that data, you have the answer, you find a model or pattern saying that how do I get the same behavior if I use the data repeatedly in different ways, in different circumstances. So you basically package it, validate the model with the test data, and then lot of dummy data, deploy the model, monitor it over the period, and then again recirculate the data and again, right? This is why you're learning, or the models become mature, and then sometimes you may have more than one model in place just to cater to different maybe geographies, audience, or industry, whatever it is. So it all works out well. So but this is the key for anyone to think about, like how does it work. If you really give a, I mean, just to give an idea of how the AML pipeline or the progress works in the system, right? So without wasting time, I'll quickly get to the use cases for discussion. Some of them are close to my heart, and then some of them I was involved, and I'm involved currently. So I'll quickly briefly talk about it. If you look at it from manufacturing, this is the industry I belong to currently. And it has been greatly impacted by this AML. I mean, there's a lot of use cases still pending and then open, and we will probably talk about in the next couple of decades for sure. Industry 4.0 is, you might have heard of, it's paving a big time digital revolution, digital transformation trends. And then a lot of companies are talking about zero emission, zero carbon footprint topics, so which all need kind of applications which will be developed, especially using the AML to make it happen, right? In the next couple of years, the AI spend in the manufacturing is going to be probably 16 billion by 2026, just in this industry, and that's a huge, which is again touching from the from the manufacturing all the way to related to supply chain and everything about what the manufacturing does. So predictive maintenance, machinery inspection are going to be a key in getting the revenues or additional support or additional revenue stream here. And then of course the manufacturing hardware segment also getting will be picked up. And then some of the challenges we'll talk about, which is common for pretty much all the industry segment, right? So we at AGRITECH, I just wanted to say that we are working on a couple of products which are on AML. One of them is Conveyor Inspection, Conveyor Inspect. It's been in the beta version right now already. So this is developed using drones and video using IR cameras, and then it uses thermal imaging and then AML algorithms to identify where in the belts or where in the conveyor you have fault, right? In terms of idlers or anything that usually be identified. Like it uses a simple philosophy of thermal imaging. Every surface emits some kind of temperature, if you know that heat basically, and then if you take a picture with the IR image, you can distinguish like the one surface with the cooler ones versus the hotter ones. There are significance for that, and then how they behave differently, right? So it's about interpretation later, but at least it works on simple principle, and then AML algorithm is used to identify these images and videos to get an understanding of where this need to be improved, what needs to be done, and how it can be improved, right? The second application which is also we are developing or close to going to beta is about improving the golfing experience, right? So when you say golf, if you've been aware and if you played, so you need to have maintained certain body posture and then a rhythm to get a right shot, and then only it matters if you're playing right or not, right? Your alignment, your energy or your intensity with which you hit the ball, all this matters. So what they have done is we are analyzing the printed electronics again topics, and then it will be in the shoes of the golfer, and then we can analyze how the body weights are fluctuating and then how they're changing and how it's behaving, so that we can identify and help golfers to play better golf in the future, right? This is about where AML is currently being used, and then which is one of the topic. Of course, this will be in larger industries as well, using the automated sensors, IoTs, which will send the data on a regular basis to your systems, and then you need to interpret what's happening in that area in terms of temperature, humidity, or pressure, or air quality, or whatever it is. Excuse me. So all this can be monitored, and then which requires ML algorithms to be made available, so you can have a right prediction, and then you can alert or notify people to take care of it, right? Next one is the AGRITECH. This is another field which I was also been part of, and then I was part of this project long back. Okay, it's about maybe 5 years back. That time it was not developed using AML. So as I said earlier, there was a statistical algorithm, data structures, and then typical computer science, and then with the data product developed, and then we say, okay, this is how it's going to be done, right? But given a chance today, if somebody has to develop this product, it'll be in a very different way it will be done, right? And probably AML will take the precedence. And why this is also important is agriculture has a lot of use cases which is not being currently tapped. The agriculture in Western countries and Eastern countries are very different, right? There is more scientific, and then people take a very systematic approach. Here it is more of a experience, and then trial and error and all the stuff. So there's a lot of potential in India and then a lot of other countries where these technologies can be used even before you start going for a crop, right? Your soil testing, your mineral testing, a lot of testing can be done in advance, and you can predict what crop can go well here, and to go well what it needs to be done. And even before you start growing the crop, I think you can do the yield mapping, which is what I talked about here. You exactly know how much you can get the yield per acre or per your land or whatever it, right? Then you have a bigger case of how do you manage your crop as well, like when it starts from the day one, you make it ready, right? You need to use fertilizer, insecticide, pesticide, a lot of things will come into picture, and pest management. So this could be the AML solution, also very useful, and using drone. So some of the pictures what you see is actually done using drones. It is already in the in the markets in some of the countries, and then it has a lot of scope to further improve it, right? You can quickly identify which part of your farm needs attention because of the whatever the reason, they're not able to grow there, or maybe something is wrong or something like that. And then it also helps you in managing the pest management as well, because sometimes it's when you have a farm of like 500 acres, it's impossible to humanly to go there and inspect every day what is happening in part of this farm, right? So this is not possible. So so the drones along with the AML can interpret the situation on the ground, and then probably alert the users to take an action if required, right? Smart tractors, agribots are already there, and then you don't need to depend upon humans anymore in terms of the calculation. Like example wise, if I recall my grandfather who was agriculturist, and then tried to do a the fertilizer scanning, right? So he'll call on 5 people and give one bucket of urea or something, and then say, okay, start spraying it across the field. There's no reason to think whether it's needed or not needed, or which part of the field needs more, which part of the field needs less. No logic like that. Just spray equally, right? But nowadays it is not the case. So people will think about it before, even if you put the fertilizer in the land, and then trying to see how we can variably distribute the fertilizers or chemicals or pesticides, depending upon whether it's a need or not. It's all intelligence at the end. So it's going to grow. This is one of the biggest market, as you see, and by 2050 60% of people are going to increase. 60% more food needed to feed the people on this earth. So it is better. Some of the companies are spending a lot on agri-tech and agriculture to make it smart farming or precision farming, to be precisely, and then get the yield as we expect. automotive market. This is I'll not take much time on this. You are all aware. This is one of the topic about autonomous cars, right? And then of course cars are become intelligent, no doubt. A lot of machine learning things are already been implemented. Yet they are going to be implemented and things. So a lot of cars have sensors now for everything. You can have a parking assistance. Some cars even park themselves, right? You don't need to even do anything. They just park themselves in the parallel parking or curb parking and all. So autonomous cars are becoming a reality. And by, I think by 2030, there will be at least 20% of the cars will be autonomous in the world, right? It is not going to be huge, but still significant from the way it is, the way it's going. A lot of companies are testing autonomous ride-hailing services also. You don't need a driver. You just book a cab, get in, and then get out and by just giving the locations and then all the information. That's pretty much. There's no driver coming and waiting for you and all. So a lot of things are getting tested, and then future looks very great with these things. And then see how it goes for sure. And then let me quickly. Got it. Okay. Yeah, I just need 5-10 minutes, probably max. I'll stop. Since there are less people, probably I can take some I think some more time as well, I guess. Right?
Surely, sir. Surely.
Okay. So retail is
Yes, sir, absolutely.
yeah. Okay, so healthcare life science, another critical field for AML. A lot of again studies are done and then used. The AML has been used in detecting cancers, kidney anomalies, and then a lot of early stage diseases or predictions are getting done. IBM Watson, is probably you might have heard, is being used in lot of drug discovery phases as well. So it's becoming a great potential market, and a lot of things are being applied in the healthcare as well. So again, it's mainly also because of EMR and AHR, like electronic medical records or electronic health records are becoming available or becoming mandatory now rather than paper-based prescription and all. So this drives additional insights or additional data which can help in developing the right algorithms and all. Retail, I'll not again summarize it. This is Amazon is the pioneer in this field. You're all aware, and then they change the whole landscape of the retail. And then the way we shop online, the way we shop in the even in the stores, everything has been changed. And then this thanks to Amazon early adopters or users of AML, and then starting from your recommendation searches and all the stuff, right? So it's a huge thing, and then this is probably one of the matured industries to precisely. Um, so just to recall or summarize, there are tons of other industries, right? Banking is the one, stock trading, stock industry, stocking options, transportation and ride sharing facility or the services, entertainment, which is Netflix and other media things, delivery and logistics. You can think of Swiggy, Zomato, DoorDash, so many apps which are out there for which help in delivery and logistical services as well. And cybersecurity also now uses the AML to identify the patterns of attack and all, and to make the system robust in terms of defensive, like make system defensive in the organization. Utility, IoT is one of the key here, and then a lot of companies in the Western countries, they already use IoT enabled devices, and then it will track you exactly how much electricity has been consumed, and if there is anomalies that need to be fixed at the device itself, right? So that much of detail is being captured, and then helping to reshape our I think all the businesses and all. It starts with the right team. Just to moving away from use cases, it needs data scientists, data engineers, front-end developers, platform engineers, product managers, all these typical roles you need to have in your team to be successful. And they do a different job, right? Data scientists are specifically to talk about statistics, model, and then using the right how do you say, right features for your model and all the stuff. Data engineers crunch the data, and then they plug the model and the data together, then to get the predictions right. Of course, at the end of the day, somebody has to tell the story as well. That's why front-end developer is also very important to visualize the data and then tell the story. What does it mean to the organization, customer, or employees when all this is in place, and then to continue to support it, platform engineers who will support your models, version it, control it, and then make sure monitor them as well, and then give the feedback, right? So not spend a lot of time here. A lot of tools, technologies, framework already available in the system. You don't need to discover anything, just use them, all these libraries. And many organizations like Uber or Google and Facebook or Netflix, a lot of organizations have made their work publicly available in Git. So if you go there and you find a lot of libraries which can help you in terms of recommendation, image processing, object processing, text processing, speech processing, you name it, a lot of things are already there, and then they have made it publicly available, so you can use in your products when you start on building something like that, right? Uber's Michelangelo, there is a huge documentation already out there. If you look at it, it's called Michelangelo, and it uses thousands of models, data models to run the Uber, from maps and then booking destination, routing, capacity, demand, pricing, price adjustments, everything you name it. It has a lot of hundreds of models running behind it to get the data. To make it more successful organization. In a nutshell, I'll let's summarize. So if you have to say, okay, how do you accelerate the AML, and if I have to start journey, what are the things we can do? To summarize, identify use case, a business problem which defines your blueprint, have a domain expert or SME, I would say, which are expert in that domain, which is your business problem, and then they will help you, they'll guide you in the right way. Clearly have goals and milestones, which is basically your strategy and plan, so that you don't start without having end goal or destiny, right? Something has to be defined so you can keep checking on that. Build a team with required skills and roles, right? Balance is key. Data is very important. Democratize your data, right? All organizations used to work in a silo environment. They used to collect the data, and every department used to have their own data. You need to bring it together to make the essence out of it. If you don't have data, go and subscribe it, right? If it is needed. Lot of organizations sell the data as well, or subscribe. You can subscribe to them and get the data what you want. So that will help you list what is out there and not there. It's a fit gap analysis. That is something you need to fill in. AML is not 1-0, so it takes time to make it model right. And sometimes you get it right, sometimes you don't get it right. So it's basically iterative. It all depends on data set as well. And then of course finally deploy and monitor and continuous improvement, which is what the topic here is. So with that said, the negative side, right? We have to be ready for the biasing rejection, because it's one of the very, very critical cases. Once you have AML, probably all your information can be public, right? Privacy could be one of the the key or a concern for a lot of things. Like wherever you want to use, make it personalized, you need to have a lot of data available, your personal data. So that could be a questionable data privacy, and then how we can navigate through that. So that becomes very important in the future as well. This could be a hurdle in the way for making AML to fully a service, right? And then once you have all the stuff, intelligent things are there. A lot of companies now use AML to decide whether you to get a credit card or not, or a loan or not, right? So you may be rejected just by the algorithm and say you don't fit. So this could start biasing, and rejections might increase, and then you may not have a chance to survive at the end of the day, even though no one has seen your future, but just based upon your history, this can predict in a different way. It is going to impact the jobs for sure. I will not deny that. What I will definitely say is it will basically means that you need to have different skills for the future, and then there'll be a lot of demand for these kind of skills in the technology skills in the future, right? The typical mundane human work may not be needed in the future as we gear up to the 22nd, 23rd centuries in the future. So that's very important. People have to learn new things and then adapt to new changes, and then a lot of scope for training anyone, right? So this is, with this said, I just want to conclude the session, and then I'll open for Q&A if anyone has any questions.
Thank you so much, Girishji. Attendees, I would request you, if you have any questions, you can put it in the chat box. We will take it up. Attendees, if you have any questions, please put it in the chat box. We will take it up.
Just one question: what is the current stage maturity of AML in industry? So this is by Aditya. See, maturity wise, it is already matured. So a lot of things it's already been there, and then algorithms, whatever you have, you can apply it, like especially machine learning ones. You basically need to take the light library, include in your program, and feed the data. You get the predictions, right? It's very mature, if I have to say, in the normal way. But of course, if you talk about deep learning, neural network, computer vision, it is still getting developed. If you can have a car with the driver can navigate the roads and then traffic, so that's the level of maturity you're talking about. It's already there. And then and whatever they use, the lidar or radar or sensors or sonar, right? Everything is used available as a library for most of the development work.
So we have another question from Devanand. He says, if you offer any course.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's this question from Devanand that if you offer any AI course from site online.
AI course, suggest some AI course or something like that.
I'm sorry, I'm having a bit of internet issue. There is this question from Devanand. He says, if you offer any AI course from your site online.
I don't understand what the side online means.
That is the
Okay, so he's asking, do I give any course on the AML on the online? No, unfortunately not. But I do know some of the organizations which give that experience, and then who have been the founders of the company are from ex Amazon, ex Deloitte employees, and also they have been part of all this big data and then AI and all. So I know them, and then probably I can recommend if you wish.
Sure. So thank you, Mr. Girish. Let me okay, there is this another question: how efficient is using Python for AI in real-time processing like ultrasound machines?
Python, okay. Python is the natural language or default language for AML. Of course, the lot of libraries are available, which will, I mean, ultimately Python is the language, but you need to lot of libraries you can incorporate, which I listed also. So it's very precise, and then it's very good. And then of course real-time data and all, it works in different way. It depends on your architecture as well. You have to have streaming in place, and then use that streaming to feed into your model, and then your model will churn the data out. That's how it works. It's more of an architecture topic, and then this is possible. Yeah.
All right. So
there's one question here: do you have opinion about the stigmas related AML jobs, etc.? Yeah, which I said already. Yes, I don't have an opinion. AML is going to be good, and then a lot of future. But of course, there are deceptive ways as well as like any other industry. So that we need to watch out and see how to make still it a human. And then job market definitely will flourish for AML topics. Maybe the data scientists, data engineers, or the platform people or for all the people, right? The AML is the future, and then there's going to be huge market as well for sure. Yeah.
Okay. So thank you, Girish, for taking up the questions. Let us move ahead with the vote of thanks. It's an honor to give you this vote of thanks on behalf of HCOE and First IIT Kanpur and the entire management group here. I'm very heartily grateful to Mr. Girish Ponce for sharing his graceful words with us in the today's meeting. It has been a tribute to host all the audience in the meeting. I'm thankful to all the participants who are coming here and attending the association meeting. I'm very thankful to the entire team who helped in setting up the webinar, Dr. Nikhil Agarwal. Thank you for your guidance, Professor Amitabh Bandyopadhyay. Thank you for your constant support. Mr. Ankit Saxena, thank you for helping in gathering all the network and keeping us motivated. Ragini, Neelab, Prasanjit, and Tushar, thank you for helping us with all the last minute support. I'm sure that we will continue to get such an amazing response with, we hope a lot of startups and entrepreneurs have benefited from the HCOE program. I would request all the attendees to log into hcoe.com and register before 31st of December. This is the one of its kind of opportunity for artificial intelligence startups. Thank you so much. Thank you, Girishji. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah. Bye-bye.